Those are for those that are answering the question. When you see that yellow card go up, you have 15 seconds left. And when the red card goes up, you are done. And we're going to move right on. There will be some questions that will be addressed to everyone that is running. There will also be other questions that will be just individually geared towards different people on the panel. Bill gets to pick, no one else, okay? I can't think of anything else that we need to do other than have we drawn full positions. So candidates, if you'll just come up here in front, take your seat. We have a couple of candidates that aren't here. And I believe that's Tiffany Young and Richard Stidley. They chose not to be here maybe tonight.
I just drew for them at random of what was left of the table.
Sure. Hey, and before we get started, it's a small room, and I think everybody can hear us just fine the way the PA is set up. Would that be a correct assumption? At 8:20, Craig Sampson is going to speak with us as the fire chief for our volunteer fire department for 10 minutes. At the conclusion of that 10 minutes, the superintendent of Chelsea Public Schools is here, Matt Hagebusch, and he's going to visit with those of us that are here about the importance of the school bond that's going to be coming up to vote on April the 4th. And Matt's pretty shy, I'm not. But let me just tell you, the school system is the largest employer in this community that we all call home. Also, a community without a school, we might as well roll up the sidewalks, folks, because everybody will be gone. So, Jared, hey, you'll just make sure that that's on. You'll hold that button down so you see a light. Check along. Hey! And we are 4 minutes already behind, and Bill, it is your show.
Okay. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? I don't know if that's working or not, but I've got a pretty loud voice. So, candidates, I'll just quickly remind you, please be respectful of one another. Be respectful of time. When I ask you to stop, even if you're making the best point of your life, please just stop so we can get through this. Please do not ask questions of one another. Only ask the questions that are answered, and answer the question that is asked. Please stay on topic. I'm sure there's lots of things that you really want to talk about, but I would ask that you stick to the topic. Jared H., since you've got the microphone, if you'll go ahead and start with your 1.5-minute introduction of yourself.
I thought I was going to get an option to get questions introduced. My name's Jared Holman. I've been a Chelsea resident since I 2015. I've moved here. I am a life safety, fire protection inspector, and installer. So anything from alarms, fire extinguishers, suppression systems, and whatnot. So that's the business I'm in these days. I'm married to Sarah, who is nurse here in town, so I'm going to take advantage of her presence for a moment. And we've got five children. We've got a son-in-law. I've got, hopefully soon we'll have a grandchild on the way, which I've been getting jealous for a while about having to look at other people holding the grandbabies. So, and that's really where, let's see, remember the First Baptist Church here in Chelsea? I don't know what I got. A minute 45 left now. That's about it. I felt like I've been in a variety of businesses. I've kind of lived in different parts of the country. I hail originally from Bristow. I've lived in, here in Broken Arrow, and I see how there's Dad I knew for a long time ago, Mr. Easley, and lived in Illinois and North Carolina, and then moved back here. So,
all right, thank you, Jared. I think our time cards are flipped the wrong way.
trying to make time.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You don't have to use up the full minute and a half if you want. If you want to be concise and brief, that's great too.
Hey, Bill, I know we've already got started, but I tell you, make an introduction of Kevin Easley. Kevin Easley is with us tonight. He is running for District 14 Cherokee Nation Council position, so I wanted to recognize him as well.
Okay.
I'm Denise Shoemaker. I grew up in Chelsea. Actually grew up out Bowling Springs. I've moved away twice. I've always came back to Chelsea. I lived in San Antonio for 8 years. Moved back here in 2014. I have an accounting degree. All my time has been in oil and gas or electrical. I currently have 4 grandchildren. One is 5 and is currently enrolled in Longfellow. So that's pretty much about it. My parents grew up here doing Unique Baker Swaggerty. So I'm just here to help, make what's best for Chelsea.
Jared G.
My name is Jared Gaddett. I've lived in Chelsea my whole life. Born here shortly after my dad moved from Texas. Don't hold that against him. He did have sense enough to come north. So I was born actually downtown Chelsea in a rental house that's beside the Calvary Lighthouse Church. A quick deal, and didn't have time to get us to the hospital, so get me to the hospital. So I was born at home actually. So graduated from a private school here in town in 1999, and been here my whole life. I mean, outside of town, been back in town, I believe, for 9 years now. I'm married to Elizabeth Gabbett, love of my life, and I have a little daughter over there that's the apple of my eye. Anyway, I'm proud to live in the town of Chelsea. It's a great place to grow up. I have many fond memories of the town. I appreciate you guys giving me the time.
Thank you, George. All right, Charlie, you're up.
Hello, my name is Charlie Welch. We moved here from Texas as well on November 5th of 1965, and I've been here pretty much ever since 65 when I started school. I've been on up schooling here, and I'm here to see what I can do to help our little community, and then, like I say, just do everything I can to support anybody and everybody I can. And I'm a member of the Chelsea Assembly of God. Yeah, go Sooners.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. All right, Lisa, you're up.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I don't know if I told that against me. I'm married to Norman over there, and I am currently seated on the city council, and continue to help this community some more. I got 10 grandchildren. I know. Yes. 3 kids, 2 stepkids. I currently work at the casino as a food and beverage supervisor, so if you other than that, not really a whole lot to me. What you see is what you get.
Okay. All right, we're going to go into some of our questions now. Lisa, since you've got the microphone, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. This question is going to be for all the candidates, all right? What I would like to know is, why are you running for town trustee or city council member, however you'd like to phrase it? And what makes you qualified to hold that position?
I'm running again because it started to do some things in this town that I'd like to see come to finish. And I feel I've been firm, fair, and consistent through the whole thing, and have done what I feel has always been in the best interest of the town. And not about, I don't know how to say this. I just listen to everything that I need to hear, and I make a decision based on what I feel is the best for the town. And I don't know that anybody can do better than that. That's all I know.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. All right. Charlie, you're up. Same question.
Sure.
Okay, can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Why are you running for town trustee or city council member? And what makes you qualified to hold that position?
I am running again for city council member because I served once and I resigned once. I see, when you're outside looking in, you can see that I'm more than the inside looking out. And so I see it, I think maybe I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of our town. Our town is on the upstream right now. I want to be a part of the growth. I want to do everything I can to support each, like I say, each and everybody, and try to do my part to make it grow. And we, as the council members, we got to realize, we can't concentrate on those circle people because every decision we make is over like 3,000 people, men, women, and children. Every decision we make affects everybody.
Thank you, Charlie. Jared, same question.
I'm running again because I feel that Chelsea is moving in the right direction. We have a lot going. And when I ran the first time, one of my things was cleaning up the town, and I feel that we're moving forward with that at a pretty good pace. I mean, things don't happen overnight. I mean, everybody knows that, but I feel like we're moving forward at a good pace. Maybe not as fast as we would like, some of us would like, but I feel like we're going in the right direction for sure. New businesses, things like that coming to town. What makes me qualified to run, I believe, is some of those that are around. I try to listen to the more experienced people that's been down this road, and I try to take advice from them, and I think that helps qualify me for the position.
Thank you, Jared. Denise.
The reason I'm running is because, like I said, I grew up on Springs. I grew up in Chelsea. I ran around in Chelsea. Chelsea's got a lot of good, positive things going on now. I want to continue to be a part of that. I want to see this town grow and be beneficial to the young kids that are coming up. Like, I got 4 grandbabies that are going to grow up in this town. I want to make sure this town is around for them, whether they're in high school, and even for the people that continue to live here. My qualifications is, I listen to the elders, because I'm not a particular person. What you see is what you get. I talk to the people that have been here for 30, 40, 60, 80 years, and how they would like to see this town continue to grow and see what's beneficial for it. I am not here for any type of personal gain or for anything else. I just want what's best for Chelsea and its citizens.
Thank you, Denise. Jared, H.
I would say, I heard what Jared had said about the progress of the town at this point, and I feel like I've been saying what I see, because you only know what you see. It's right there, and there's just little things. I say little things, I'm not doing big things. There are things here that still need to be addressed. There are, without knowing a lot of details, there seem to be some issues of getting over some things. There are, we still have a level of the community that is really downtrodden, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I feel like it's been that way for a long time. So if there's any way to help to bring that up, be it bring good jobs to town, be it give somebody some hope, a bit of future right here. That would be my target, qualification-wise.
All right, thank you, Jared.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, folks, what I'd like to do now is take a question from the crowd. Is there anybody who has a question they'd like to ask of either all the candidates or a specific candidate? Yes, sir. Please say your name and then whether you'd like this question to go to an individual candidate or to all of them.
working now. This is kind of a complicated issue, but it's something I have been aware of for many, many years. And this all happened in 1988, which many of you don't even know that at that time, Public Service Company of Oklahoma bought the electric system from Chelsea for a figure of $2.2 million. Okay. In this resolution and ordinance, it says that that $2.2 million can never be spent. Now, do you all know what's happened to it? Okay, approximately $500,000 has been spent over the years. My question is, if some individual or group should file court action to get this thing replaced, where would the money come from? Do you have a thought of where it could come from?
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and start with Charlie on that.
Maybe it'll be something, I don't know everybody ain't sure of this, but maybe do it like a penny sales tax or replenish. How much money did you say, George? $500,000? Well, we got to replenish.
Asking how much you need to
Yeah.
replenish.
$500,000.
$500,000?
How much?
Was it $500,000 we're missing?
Yes. Let's say you got 1.7 million, maybe a little more, but needs to be 2.2 million.
Right, maybe,
When you set up, you can only spend the interest of that 2.2 million on the asset. So the town has not taken any money out of it for 6 years, but the problem is, in my mind, if somebody should file a suit, the judge rules that you will pay that back, or you're going to get the money.
well, that's where I was going, and maybe we could, like everybody goes like the tax stuff anyway, maybe we could, do a one penny sales tax in your market for that. Other than that, I'm gonna have to do some pondering on it and better the idea of it.
Okay. Jared H., your response to that question.
I'd really be curious to know a little more detail. I mean, like you answered a moment ago that the interest was to be able to benefit or be able to be spent. I think I would ask, what happened? I mean, was it just, or do we know?
Well, in interest of time, unfortunately, I don't think we have time to go for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just talking about finding a way to raise
$500,000.
$500,000, you know, with our situation in this town right now, I wouldn't even know where to start. I need to open up the books to the town and see what's out there, see what opportunities we might have to gain some income, you know, be it grant money, tax money, some money from the state, counties, any resource we may be able to pull in that's out there that we could be filing for and finding reasons to take advantage of. But some larger employees coming to town would be a big help in bringing some greater tax revenue to this town. So, you know, what the exact answer is, I can't say, but.
Thank you, Jared. Okay, let's stick with the Jareds. Jared G.
To answer that question, how many of y'all believe in prayer? Honestly, I believe that happened, you know, before I came along. Well, I know it did. We didn't have, and you know, I don't claim to be super smart in financial areas, you know, that to recoup things like that. So, actually, I would have no idea. Right off the top of my head, it would be that would be probably something the council would plan together, work with city officials, you know, to take care of that problem.
Okay, thank you. Denise?
I would actually look through like CETA, some of the other offices that we have here, see if they have any money for funds available, pull from them first, if possible, and then probably do like a 1% tax that we already have, just take 1% tax off of that to try to recoup the money that way. So that way it's not having that major effect on the town. Because we're already taxing the town anyway, so take just 1% off of that, maybe that would help with the wage governments that way, or maybe pull off some of the other official, like CETA or some of the other authorities here in town. Maybe do it that way, or maybe find some medical grants or something.
Okay, thank you. Lisa?
Okay, I started on the council when we were actually taking money from matrimony to subsidize the folks to make sure we got a good pay. And while we were on the council the first time, when I started, we were taking 5,000 a month. By the time my second year, we were no longer taking any. And to get the money together, we would have to look at all of the CDT such that we have available and come up with a plan as a council to how we were going to pay that back.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Okay, I'm going to go to Jared G. now. What experience do you have in reading financial statements and or managing money in a business setting?
I work, I'm self-employed, small business myself. That aside, it's not, it's nothing major. I have been manager of 2 different lumber yards, co-manager of one, and I dealt with some of the financials there. Essentially, most of the time it had to be passed, through others, and I worked with a group of people. But that's my experience with that. Other than that, I've been, just a carpenter most of my life, and but I've always had help, people that I worked with or worked with me to make the final decisions.
Denise, same question.
I actually have an associate's degree in finance, and whenever I've been doing books and stuff for oil and gas companies, I've been doing it for over 25 years. So I have lots of experience in trial balances, general ledgers, and all that.
Thank you. Okay, new question. Lisa, I'm going to start with you. All right. When was the last time you attended a city council meeting that was not for the interest of another party? So, in other words, when was the last time you went to a city council meeting out of your own concern for the community or your own interest?
Like
before you became a council member.
Well, I used to go when my husband was the mayor and sit and listen, and I've gone several times when there was issues going on that I had interest in and wanted to see how they worked out. I don't know an exact date. I've been on the council now for almost 5 years, so prior to that, what day I was last at one, but I've never been as long since I've been on the council. So, last time I remember was when my husband was there, going when he was on the board. So.
Okay. Thank you. Jared H., same question.
Like the simple, I've never attended a city council meeting here. I would say probably the last was when I lived in Broken Arrow before we moved up. Just in the interest of down the road, if there would be questions about school bond issues and whatnot that the county council would have to put on to, and that would be generally where you can get a forum to ask those questions.
Okay, thank you. Charlie, same question.
I was kind of interested in the city council. I attended 2 council meetings, and back when Darrell Price was the mayor, and I actually struck a stone in our 50 cents that I had run they here for their own seat, and of course, I didn't like to go today. I've seen some things then in town that I thought a superhero changed, and I didn't, that time really didn't understand how the council works, as a group. I have better understanding that now. I just feel like I want to be a part of it.
Thank you. Okay, Denise. Should city ordinances be enforced, and if elected, will you read all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's our part job of city council to enforce the ordinance and to actually know the city ordinances. If we don't take the time to get knowledge, then how can we sit back and say somebody's breaking this ordinance if we know nothing about it? So we need to take the time to actually read all the ordinances and then be able to enforce them. So that way the police department can actually do their job. If somebody is breaking the law, they can say, hey, they're breaking this ordinance, and then we need to have you either write them a warning or something so that we can start enforcing.
Okay. Thank you, Denise. Jared H., same question.
I'm kind of a big fan of things like city ordinances. You know, some of these things need to be kind of living documents. I mean, they're a guideline to things. I think, you know, they should always be open to review and discussion. And you know, I feel like that's a big part of what a city council is about, is to take those issues, discuss them based on what is there in front of you and the details, and you know, make sensible decisions off of that. So, utilizing those ordinances as a guideline, but you know, at the same time to enforce them properly, that as a group.
Thank you. Okay, Lisa, new question. How do you plan to work collaboratively with other council members and community leaders to make decisions that benefit the town as a whole?
Well, that's pretty easy because we've been doing that for quite a while now. Council that we have now, we work very well with Commerce, Chamber of Commerce, and Project Chelsea, and some of the other organizations in the Gas Authority. We partnered up with them on housing committee, and working with the foreign, the CMA, medical. We're working with CMA, medical and municipal, on the Gas Authority on housing issues. We're also working, getting ready to start a Parks and Recreations Committee that we're going to partner up with them on, and also a Centennial Committee that we're going to partner up with them to get some things going on Chelsea that we'd like to see happen. Good with that.
Okay, thank you. Charlie, same question.
I think it's very important that the city council is involved with the fire department, police department, the schools, try to get the library back open, try to, like the Project Chelsea, try to every little community, every little project we have in this town, they're there for a reason. They're trying to help the town. And so therefore I think we need to support them. I think we need to get to know them on a one-on-one basis and support them as we can if we feel needed, if we feel like we can.
Okay, thank you. Jared G., same question.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure can. How do you plan to work collaboratively with other council members, community leaders to make decisions that benefit the town as a whole?
Well, among the council, communication is key, and then talking to the general public, like to get their ideas, and then working with Project Chelsea, Chamber of Commerce, Housing Authority, all of that. There's not a separate entity in town. There shouldn't be. It should be all of the groups working together along with the council to get things done, and listen to each other's ideas and move forward from there. I think it's the whole thing is it's a we. It's not, just one individual group or it's not about me, being on the council. It's a big group effort across the board to work with everybody, work together.
Okay, thank you. What I'd like to do now is turn it over again to a question from the audience. Do I have anybody that has a question? Yes, sir. Let's get you a microphone.
So, back to the question about the ordinances. The ordinance was put in place that was never followed. What would you do as a city council member to try to change the ordinance or to make sure that it's followed?
Okay, to reiterate the question in case you were unable to hear it. This question was, if there is an ordinance that has already been in place but has not been getting enforced properly, what would your plan to be to start enforcing that ordinance? And this question is for the entire panel, so we'll start with Jerry.
Well, first I would have to, it would depend on exactly what it is. I know he mentioned changing an ordinance. You've got attorneys and everything else involved in that. But it's, I think if you've got an ordinance, you have to follow it. I mean, it's just, they were put there for a reason. And if you follow one, you got to follow them all. That's just simple as that in my opinion. I think there's a step by step. I don't think, say if it was somebody's house was dilapidated and needed to be torn down, I don't think you just go in there and kick them out and tear it down. You work with them, give them a little bit of time, give them a chance to move forward with it, and then just move from there.
Thanks, Jerry. Charlie?
Well, number one, like Jared said, it's quite timely and it can be expensive getting ordinances put in place. And before we do that, before the council does that, we take into consideration what the ordinance is. And then the ordinance, if the ordinance is put into place, was put in place for a reason. And like I say, I think we need to pay very close attention to the ordinances and enforce them the best way we can. Maybe with the money that's on the police to help us, or get the group here, come up with a decision what we need to do as far as the houses or the grass is growed up or old cars sitting around, or just whatever the ordinance may do, we just need to enforce it to the best of our ability.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. Lisa?
I agree that the ordinances are vital to our community, and I understand that they need to be enforced. However, I also take the opinion that if an ordinance hadn't been enforced for quite some time, based on previous people or whatever, that you have to have a little bit of patience and understanding to get them to, you can't, like you said, you can't just go in and kick people out of their home because, for 15 years nobody's paid attention, and now all of a sudden we are, and we can't just go in and say, get out, you're out of compliance. You have to be able to work with the community as well to get the ordinance in compliance.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Jared H., if you'll finish us up on this question.
I'd say any ordinance, that comes into question, they should all be reviewed. We need to all become, obviously, you ask the question, will we read them and become familiar with them? Absolutely. But I think, there are a lot of things that you got to go back and review. What was the time frame when an ordinance was put into place? What's changed? What needs to be reviewed? What was the spirit of the ordinance when it was put into place versus how it may be interpreted by a person, that may want to look at something selectively. So you got to take that kind of the process of being a little more pragmatic with approaching those ordinances and taking a closer look at them. Using some common sense. And if changes need to be made, then that needs to be taken into account.
Okay, thank you. Denise?
and everything, because, somebody may, well, we don't want to enforce this one, we want to enforce that one. So we need to research, find out exactly why the original ordinance was not enforced, find out if changes do need to be made, and if they need to be, which it does need to be enforced, then we need to take the proper steps on, as a council, finding out, okay, what's the best way to approach this ordinance, and who we need to get involved to actually, make sure it's enforced. We need to contact the police department, we need to contact the fire department, or what authority we need to actually use.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this next question I asked, I'm going to preface it with, I think we'd all like to hear positive aspects about yourself, not necessarily negative aspects of others. So I'm going to start with Lisa. Well, okay, we'll start with Denise then. We'll give you a break. This is your chance to shine with this question, folks. What distinguishes you from any of the other candidates?
Yeah, for sure it says my height, but I am a very detailed person, because my accounting background and everything, but I am family oriented. My family comes first, and Chelsea is pretty much my family because I've grown up here. I grew up at Bowling Springs my entire life. I would come to Chelsea, hang out on weekends. And when I was younger, there was a lot more things to do in Chelsea. And I would love to see a lot of positive changes come back to Chelsea. We have Route 66. We have the first oil well. A lot of places don't have, like here, we don't have anything on the highway that represents Route 66. You go to Bonita, you go to Claremore, you go to Tulsa, they have the Route 66 symbol on the highway. That would be a great beneficial for us. We had the first oil well. So bring a lot of attention to our positive areas would be great. And that's what I want to do.
All right, thank you, Denise. I gave you a couple extra seconds since you were brave and went first on that one. All right, Lisa, same question.
Okay, me. Well, I am sometimes brutally honest to a fault. Pretty much what I say is what I mean, but I'm also fair, and I'm also compassionate to people, what they need. I listen to what people need and what they're saying. I try very hard to take everyone, if I'm dealing with an issue, I try very hard to listen to all sides and make a decision based on what I feel is the fair thing to do. And that's just, I'm a pretty simple person. There's no fancy about me.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Jared H.
Would you mind repeating one more time?
Yeah. What distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Like a hair. I'd say, the difference is, I've got a very broad-ranging experience running operations from businesses that were, Fortune 100 corporations, running large areas of those businesses, be it the financial side of it, disaster relief, things such as that, the small business, which I'm involved in now. I've lived and spent a good bit of time pretty much all over the country, so I've had the benefit of getting to see a lot of different things and bring some experience from some different angles. And for the most part, it's from the people I've met out there, the differences and things I've seen out there, and the way things were done, and the different types of businesses I've been involved in, and the benefit of those things.
Thank you, Jared. Charlie, what distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Number one, I'm not no better than anybody else. I'm in my working days, I don't look at a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, and I'm willing to help anybody, anything I can help them with. And, I'm willing to say I'm willing to listen to people, I'm willing to help them, I'm willing to do things, I'm willing to move forward. If I can help the, little lady across the street, you know, that's what I want to do, you know, you're not just got on the council, you just got a man with a good heart.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Jared G.
Thank you so much.
To start off, I feel like I'm a very unselfish person. Like Charlie was saying there, you know, helping other people. I try to be level-headed and you know, listen to other people. You know, I've had people since I've been in the council come up my house and ask me questions. Try to make time for them because you know if they're taking the time to come to my house and talk to me about a matter, it's important to them. So I can take the time to listen to them, you know. And if I don't know the answer, you know, I try to get it to them. Try to get them the right answer or point them in the right direction to get an answer. And I don't know. As far as I know, I don't have an enemy. I'm one of them guys that just I like about everybody. You know? Most everybody likes me, as far as I know.
All right, thank you. All right, I'd like to get to a couple of questions from online. Charlie, we're going to start with you. What is the biggest struggle you see facing the town of Chelsea?
Finances, old buildings being repaired, I know we got several old houses going down, which is not a lot of ways to get down. And that is a big struggle. But finances is probably the biggest.
Thank you. Jared G., same question.
I would say finances as well. You know, my dad always used to say you can't get a silk purse out of a sow's ear. You can only go as far as the money that you have. So I agree with Charlie on that. Financially, we can only move forward so fast. But the council and we've been working with grants and other things that I feel like we're headed in the right direction.
Thank you. Lisa, same question.
Well, I'd have to say finances as well. We're working hard to try and come up with things to create jobs and get some more money going through this community. Just every day we try and we're just trying to come up with some ideas. We have a retail idea we have going on, that we're looking to get some jobs in here and get finances and sales tax up. And hopefully that'll get started soon. And till then we'll just keep trying to figure out how we're going to get there.
Thank you. Okay, Jared H. New question. What is a goal or something you would like to accomplish if you were to be elected?
I'd say I would really, one of the challenges here that I struggle with myself is I think this is a town that you want to maintain the spirit of what the town is. It's a small town. It's the community. It's the feeling of that. But at the same time, we need some opportunity here or closer to here. We need to bring some work, financial opportunity, and some hope to some people that, and give them easier access to that opportunity. Because sometimes I feel like, we're kind of on an island out here for some people, and they don't see a way to get to those things that might, lift them up or out of a situation or make their own situation better. I would like to see to find a way to maybe work at, or at least have a start on bringing something significant like that here.
Thank you. Denise, Same question.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I sure can. What is a goal or something you would like to accomplish if you were to be elected?
I would love to see this town grow, you know, not only with the new businesses coming in, but also with the history of Chelsea. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, we have a historic in 66. We have the first oil well. You know, we need to use that as a tourist attraction more. You know, we have the brick roads here in town. You know, there are a lot of things that we already have that we can. That's what I look at. Enhance more about. You know, we do need to bring in more new businesses. You know, chain companies like O'Reilly's, Cato's. You know, just other corporations that can help this town grow to its maximum capacity. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we have that we can offer other companies that are just not in. So I would love to see, you know, new businesses, more people coming in. But in order to have more people, you know, we have to have the housing and everything like that.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, Jared H., we're going to come back to you for this next one. Have you ever, or do you currently serve on a board, council, or committee that is responsible to others? And if so, were you elected or appointed?
I'm a trustee at my church. And that was, you know, I guess depending on the way I want to look at it, you know, sometimes those things sort of seem like an elected position, but, you know, it's sort of also a calling to an appointment, if you will. So, you know, I've been into that and on some different, you know, committees within that group. Outside of my work, like I said, I've scaled down my work life quite a bit in terms of responsibility there, but, you know, working into a small business to make more time for those sort of things, be it my church, community, my family. So,
Denise, same question.
Well, I just recently became a Girl Scout troop leader for the Chelsea area. That was by volunteer, because if I wouldn't have been in Chelsea, we wouldn't have had a Girl Scout troop. I've also been a community whenever I lived in San Antonio for an oil and gas company. That was an elected position. And, you know, I've done, you know, a lot of volunteer work through a church that, you know, put on mission trips and everything like that. So it's just, you know, a lot of more volunteer than actually appointed positions.
Okay, thank you. Next question's for Jared G. It's a new question. What steps do you plan to take to ensure transparency and accountability in local government decisions?
Really, I think just continuing on like we have, you know, in the council. If I get reelected, I try to be transparent. I think I've talked to several people about the different goals that I personally would like to see. You know, the parks, splash pads, different things like that. The businesses coming to town. You know, the shopping center out here, I believe that Lisa mentioned earlier. And if, you know, I don't know that I answered your question entirely. I kind of drew a blank there for a second. But that's, you know, I want to be real with people, and I want them to know it. I want them to know that I'm transparent. They can come to me, ask me anything, I can give them an answer. Did I answer that?
Yeah, I think so. Charlie, you're up.
Well, this is another one. Can you repeat that one more time?
I sure can. What steps do you plan to take to ensure transparency and accountability in local government decisions?
I'm excited about the new businesses coming into town. I really don't know how to answer this question, but, you know, I'm just gonna give my best shot. And like I say, I'm a pretty simple-minded guy. I got a big heart, and I want to support a new business. I want to try to, do something to attract new businesses and we try to figure out, I don't know, have any idea if I've answered your question or not, but until that part, stick my foot in my mouth.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Lisa, same question.
Well, I think that just being an open person, making sure that people understand they can come to me, that I'll listen to what they have to say, and I will do my best to help anybody who has an issue I could help with. And of course, we always have open meetings that anybody can come and sit and listen to. We don't hide anything there. The only thing we do not discuss is executive session stuff, and that's law, so we can't. But anything else is open for conversation. And I hope everybody on my knows that they can come to me and that we will discuss it and we will be transparent about everything.
Okay, Lisa, sticking with you. What is a goal or something you would like to accomplish with this role?
Well, I'd like to see our parks improved. I'd like to see some walking trails put out at the lake. I would like our retail business center to take off and dozens of businesses pull into there, and the town is just flourishing with money. And I'm going to work really hard to make that happen. Each day is one step closer. That's what I'd like to see.
Okay, thank you. Charlie, what's a goal you have or something you'd like to accomplish if you were elected into this role?
Well, being a former city council member, I know it's hard to get a whole lot done, but I want to do something to attract new businesses because we need to do, because the more business we have, the more revenue we have. And like I said, then I personally, at the time, was trying to have several parks, get the parks cleaned up and stuff like that. I just think we need to do something to attract new businesses. Can you get more tax money in town and can you get bigger and better parks? Can you get something for the kids to do and just hang out?
Thanks, Charlie. Jared G., same question.
Again, parks, things for the kids to do, housing. Somebody mentioned a while ago the housing committee that's been put together, new houses being built. To me, that draws people to Chelsea. The retail development thing that's going on, when that gets done, that's tax revenue coming into town. To me, that's huge. It's essentially it's all about the money anyway. That's how you grow a town. And businesses coming into town, buying into the retail development, putting their business there, that brings a new family to town. There's a lot we could do at the lake up here, the walking trails that's been mentioned. People's talked to me about that. I'd just like to see us grow, continue to move forward and not go back.
Okay, thank you. Denise, new question. What is the biggest struggle you see facing our town?
Finance is in division. I've noticed that there was a lot of division in this town over stupid stuff. I think that instead of people fighting over little pretty things, they need to come together and support the community and support the town. There's just a lot of change that needs to happen in Chelsea. We all need to come together and stop fighting each other. I'll put my foot in my mouth. One of the big things is I want to see Chelsea grow in a positive aspect. instead of going backwards. You know, we need to move forward. We need to think of our current generation of kids and do what's best for them and just bring everything together as one.
Thank you. Jared, same question.
Repeat, please.
What is the biggest struggle you see facing our town?
You know, I have trouble getting away from, and I love the idea of the retail, and we talk about all the things we want. People put posts out there, and I read through them, and what do you want to see in this town? There's all these great retail ideas, but something has to support that. Somebody has to pay the bill, and there has to be an opportunity to do that. So the opportunities for people to grow and flourish financially in this town to feed those retail businesses and those new businesses and those mom and pop businesses that we want to open and see here in our town. There's got to be something larger that feeds that. Larger opportunities. Again, I don't want to spoil the small town charm, but I've got a thought towards bigger things and how to attract those and what can we do to bring some bigger opportunities, employers, people to this town. That's going to create, a lot of opportunity for the town.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience have another question?
First of all, I want to thank all of you for your time and your answers. I've heard a lot about how to raise money. I've heard a lot about how to attract businesses. The number one asset that Chelsea has is employees. What plan do you all have to retain the employees you have with raises, equipment, benefits, salary pay ranges, additional police officers, additional firefighters and equipment, city workers? If I was a business coming to Chelsea, I'd be looking at the infrastructure. And if I didn't think the infrastructure was very good, I'd probably be going down the road and looking at another city. So, number one asset to employees, what you plan to retain them, keep them, and do things better by them.
Okay.
That's for everybody.
Thank you. Was everyone able to hear that? Okay. Essentially, the question was, he feels Chelsea's number one asset is its employees that we currently have. What would your plan be as far as encouraging them to stay and to bring new employees in with raises or improved facilities, improved equipment, extra help, etc.? Lisa, you look ready to go.
That is a very good question because we do have wonderful employees here that have been here for 20, 30 years. And when I first started here, in particular, there was one who's been here 20 plus years. And when I started in this council, she wasn't even making $10 an hour. The first thing we did was give her a raise. And we've gotten to the point where we've managed to give, I won't say great raises, but they're in a lot better shape than they were 4 years ago when I started. Our fire department is flourishing. We were able to, with ARPA money and grants and stuff that we've received, get them some new trucks, new equipment. They all have up-to-date equipment now. Our police department, while it's been going through its challenges right now, and we're still working to get it where it needs to be, but I hope they all know, as sure as I'm sitting here, they have my support, and no matter what I can do for them.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. If you go first, I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway. All right, Jared H.
Like I say, that's probably one thing since I've been here that's really stuck out is what I've seen as I don't know, normally is the word, but an extremely dedicated group of people that work for the community. And, you know, the short-term answer is, you know, to aggressively pursue things like grants and, you know, money that may be out there for us to go after. And are there other opportunities through other organizations? I mean, you know, we have large populations of people. We have a large native populations here. Are there other avenues we can go into for the short term to try to, you know, bring in some resources? But I'll go back to the longer term solution, which is to bring opportunities to the citizens here. That creates, you know, bigger jobs, bigger money, more money spent, more tax revenue. You know, that's the long-term answer to help support the people that support our infrastructure.
Thank you, Jerry. Charlie, same question.
Well, I think we got some great, I know we got great employees around the shop in the eye. I hang around with them when I can, I help them out when I can. And our police department, like I say, they're struggling right now, but I think we're on the right track. Our fire department, they're doing a fantastic job. They got great equipment. They do a very good job of maintaining it and everything. And our city workers, you know, they work, sometimes they work long hours, and they're very so good. I don't like to thank you. You know, I think we need to appreciate who we have, and I think we need to find new ways to reward them for their service.
Thank you. Jared? Yeah. So what is your plan to encourage Chelsea's greatest resources, which is its employees, to get more raises, better equipment, better facilities, etc., for the employees, and to retain them?
Well, I too believe that we have a really good bunch of employees of the town, the CETA workers. I've known most of them all of my life, and I think they're a great benefit to the town. We have a really good fire department now. We have a good police department. It's just, like Lisa said, it's kind of hit a little slow spot here, but I think we're on the climb out of that. Money-wise, on that, that's what keeps employees a big part of the time. Not always, but some people just stay because they love it. But for most of us work for money. You've got to have businesses come in, the tax revenue that's coming in, things like that is how we, as a council, can give raises to keep employees around.
Okay. Denise?
I have to agree with what Darren said. We are definitely blessed with amazing fire department, police department. I think we need to look at, more grants, to different facilities like the Cherokee Nation, because we are, a lot, 90%, Native American here. There are grants that we can go out and get from them, Check hospitals, might be able to give us suggestions on how we can bring in more money, to help give raises and, help where, things need to be, done. I know that in the past, when I've talked to, Chuck Hoskins about doing small things for Chelsea, I spoke with him about doing the food bank here, and he was all for it, and I think the more we talk to outside people, we get their opinions on what we can do, I think the more beneficial it's going to be.
Okay. I think we have time for one more question for the entire panel before we make our closing remarks, okay? So, Jared G., I'm going to start with you. We've talked a lot about finances. Let's talk about the people. How do you plan to engage with and listen to the concerns and ideas of community members?
Well, I think I stated earlier that I try to be available to people. I've given my number out. People in the office has given my number out. And of course, I guess about everybody knows where I live. And it's not always popular at 10 o'clock at night. I've had people show up and want to chat for a little bit. supported to choose Sean. He's just a friend of mine.
Next time's 11.
But I like, I like to think that I listen to people, and like I said earlier, I do genuinely care about their thoughts, their feelings. Many of them that came by, they have the same views, the same goals that I did personally, as what I would like to see in the town. And I believe the council, the ones that's in now, I believe that they have the same goals in mind. We as a council.
Okay, thank you. Lisa, same question. I sure do. How do you plan to engage with and listen to the concerns and ideas of community members?
Well, as I stated before, I am pretty much an open book, and people can come to me. They all do. They call, they text, whatever they feel like they need to do to talk to me. People on the streets, people at Dollar General, they know, oh, you're that girl on city council. Yeah. Well, I need to tell you about this. And I'll listen. And if there's something I can do for them, I will do it. I'm not a public talker. I can't help it. Get me alone and we'll chat. But I don't like talking in front of people. But, I'm just an open book. And if anybody wants to talk to me, I'm always here to listen.
Thank you. Denise?
I'm very open. People I can contact me through social media, texting, in the store. I am very approachable. If somebody wants to, wants my number, I'll give my number in a heartbeat, email, whatever. Because I want what's best for Chelsea. I am not in anything for me. I want this community to flourish and grow and be here for the long haul. So if anybody wants to come to my house or to my parents' house, wherever I'm at, I'm more than welcome to talk to them, no matter what time of day or night. I'm here for the community of Chelsea, not for me.
Thank you. Jared?
Same question.
Same question.
And I think, you have to stay available, from every avenue, be it, answering, the social media questions that come out there, and they may not always be directed to you, but as a town trustee, council member, a public, service position, you need to be prepared to reach out and, obviously, absolutely, especially in this town, should be very hands-on, I'm going to say, hey, come catch me at the diner on Friday morning. You want to see me, I'll be around town. But, I think we need to take that step to reach out there and answer people that are looking for answers, without maybe directly coming, to a person on the council.
Thank you. Charlie, same question.
Well, as I said a while ago, I spent a couple of terms on the city council before, and at that time, everybody had, a lot of people had my phone number, which I received a few midnight phone calls because something happened, and some parent didn't like with their children or whatever, and they just felt like they need to call me at midnight and discuss the situation. And like I say, I'm very open, and I'm willing to help. Accept any phone call at any time. Like I say, my phone number's out there. I'm on Facebook. I'm usually, it's not hard to find. I'm around town every day, so I'll do what I can to help each and everybody.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, candidates, we're coming to a close. I'd like to give each of you about a minute to make a closing statement. It can be whatever you want, as long as it's not confrontational with the other members or derogatory. Let's make this positive about yourself. You've done a great job so far. Let's finish it off strong. Lisa, I'm going to go with you so you can get rid of that darn microphone.
I would just like to be reelected to continue some of the things that we have started and keep moving forward with this town. And hopefully y'all will do that for me.
Thank you. Charlie?
Well, I'm seeking re-election. I think I need to, like I say, I've been outside, and I've been on the inside looking out now. I've been on the outside looking in for a couple, 3 years now. I see a few things that I want to be a part of. I feel like the council is moving forward with everything and very positive, and I just feel like I want to be a part of that.
G.
My mouth's big enough. Well, I feel that Chelsea's moving, like I said earlier, in a positive direction. And I think the council, would you stop that thing from moving? Working with the council that's currently in, I think we have similar goals, and I would like to keep moving forward, see the town grow. Trying to raise my child here. I've got nieces and nephews here, and I want to see positive things for Chelsea, and not see it go back.
Denise?
Discussion?
It's your closing statement. It can be whatever you want.
Yeah. I've never been in a old position. I would love to be part of the city council so I can be a part of Chelsea's future. You know, I've got 4 grandbabies that are going to grow up in this town. You know, I grew up in this town, and I want to see this town be here for future generations. I want to see this town grow to its full potential. And I just want to be a part of what's currently going on because, you know, with Eric already being in council and Lisa, you know, they've had good things going. And I want to continue to see Chelsea grow in positive and not go back to losing businesses. I like the fact that we're bringing new businesses in. Main Street's almost completely full of new businesses, and that's a positive growth for Chelsea.
Thank you. Jared?
You know, I'm waiting for some place to put this in, and we're right here at the end, but, you know, before anything else, I really have to, if I spend my time doing this, you know, I really have to thank our fire department for coming to see me last night. It meant a lot, and you guys know the situation, so I really, really appreciate that, and you guys being there, and it was very comforting, and to see those community faces. You know, as far as the business of the town goes, you know, that's the way I view it. You know, any place, any town's a business. I've run these businesses. I'm a fairly progressive thinker when it comes to, you know, issues and growth, and then trying to maintain. And I'm very sensitive to, you know, what this town, I really feel like wants to be. Like I said, you want to be Mayberry, but you want to stay that, but you want to also create opportunity for the people that are going to live here. So,
Candidates, I thank you for your time, your professionalism, and your candor. Good luck to all of you.
Mr. Tomlinson, I just want to say thank you for your time that you gave to this community to moderate this event. Guys, thank you for your welcome. We're having a little transition here. Thanks to everyone that participated. Craig, where are you? Craig is going to speak to us for about 10 minutes on the fire department, and then the superintendent of Chelsea Public Schools, Matt Hagebusch, is here, and he's going to speak to us for about 10 minutes on the upcoming bond issue. Yes, Craig, when you see the red, you're done.
I know 10 minutes.
Okay, duly noted.
So Craig, you have the floor,
I'd like to start off by saying my name is Craig Sampson. I became chief here in January of 21. A little about myself, I started my career when I was 16 in Foyle Fire Department. Since then, I've had a career at Foyle for 20 plus years. It was an honor to get to be chief here. I've met some wonderful people. There's a lot of people here that we've responded on. Numerous people throughout the community. Some things we've done since we came in is, if you guys have noticed, we have tons of firemen. When we first came in, we didn't have very many. It was kind of some changes happened, you know, unfortunately, but now we have a full staff. As a full staff, we started doing extra trainings. We now are considered a mobile hospital. As everybody knows, that's been about 20 years since Chelsea Fire's had that. Again, this isn't me that's done this. This is the community, it's help with the city council, people outside the city council. That's a big step for us. As you all know, we're in a, not so much as a retirement city, but we have a lot of elderly people. Our average time on an ambulance is about 40 minutes. As this lady over here knows, we've just gone on her a whole lot of time. So these guys that we have, their dedication is like no other. And it's just like on the city council. It's not just you come here to do fun things. There's a lot to it. These guys right here is what makes my job a lot easier than what I've ever could have imagined. I've made some new friends, and I've made some people not like me. Does that bother me? Not one bit. I have one job, and that's to cover everybody in here and everybody in our community. There will be things I do that nobody's not going to like. As my father would tell me, who passed away, tough. My job is to make sure the community is safe and covered. That's something I will do till either I'm fired or retire from here. Go ahead.
I would like to say something about your fire department. Since you have County Fire Chief and everything, your response time to my house after I place a 911 call from my mom is less than 3 minutes.
We appreciate that. So our main goal is to make sure that we get there as quick and safely as possible. From the start of a call, it comes from we want to make sure that the people feel safe as we do. So with that, we have 2 chaplains in our fire department. I know there's people that's not Christian-like or are Christians, but what we do is anytime there's a bad call or a medical call that results in death, we will pray with the family that we're with. And how that works is we go ask them. Chris right here, if you'll stand up, he's one of our chaplains. He's also a chaplain for the police department as well. So if we aren't close with our community, then the community's not going to know us or be close with us. So what we do, like I said, is anytime there's a bad call, our chaplains step in, they pray with the family, pray over, whoever's injured or hurt. So that is something we've added to the department. As a lot of you guys have heard, we are now adding another station. Chelsea has covered a big area for many, many years, and we have an obligation. So with that obligation, we was able to get with the county, and it was county-funded money that came to the city of Chelsea. $60,000 was a lot of the Chelsea Fire Department. So we're building a 2-bay station that's going to hold 4 trucks south of Winganon Store, half a mile. Again, in that area, we are up to about 113 houses just in the Winganon area. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple people that live in Winganon as well. So that's something we're adding to our area. We now have 15 EMRs in our fire department. EMRs is emergency medical responders. That's a big thing for this area. Before Chelsea had about 10 to 12. And I don't want nobody getting the wrong story about this. The generations through this fire department has been incredible. I came from, like I said, from a fire department south here from Boyle, so I've been around a lot of these guys. Matt Fraley, one of my personal friends, he was a heck of a chief. I've worked a lot of calls with him. So I feel like we have a tradition to keep going. The Fraley tradition in the fire department has been long going for many years. So again, that's why I get back to this. I feel an obligation that I have to make sure that this fire department's the best it can be. The guys have feel the same way because we have a tradition to hold. It's tough to say that we try to do everything 100% by the books, but there's some times where you have to push the issue of extra things. As last night, we ran 9 calls in 7 hours, and then these guys get up and go to work. I understand that I see a bunch of these guys, but the community doesn't know how much these guys care about their own community, their youth, their kids. A lot of their kids go to school, so there is a lot that comes into the fire department. We have been working a lot with the youth. Our youth is a big thing in our community, and that's something we have really pushed the issue of. Fire prevention, we try to do extra stuff. We bring kids up to the fire station now. We urge for anybody in the community that wants to come up to the fire station, you're more than welcome to come up. We would love to show you guys around. We've gotten, like I said, a lot of new trucks. There's been some trucks that's been outdated, so we was able to get some funding and grants to update some trucks. I know a lot of you have seen some Newer vehicles that we've gotten some donated from the county. We run 2 medical command units. Each of them have AEDs, everything we need to do on a medical call. So that is why our response times actually dropped. An average response time in this area for us is about 7 minutes. That's pretty quick if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and something's happening. I don't mean to bring this up, but we've responded on this lady at least 5 times.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yes, they've come to my house more times, as the saying is, they call it our liver bills. Okay? And they are there. They respect me as a patient. They ask me how I'm doing, and they stay with me at my house. I don't care how long it takes an ambulance. They will not leave that house until I'm in that ambulance and they're out of my driveway. These are the best fire department that Chelsea's ever had. And also, while I'm on the subject, it's the best police department Chelsea has ever had. And I was raised in this town. They are great. When I go in the hospital, they'll say something about my fire department or my police department. I tell them if they want to go to a good place, move to Chelsea, and they'll have the best ones in the state of Oklahoma. And they are. I wouldn't trade none of these guys for anybody. I would not. Because they care about you. They don't care about themselves. They care about you. I can meet him or any of them that's been to my house anywhere in this town or in Claremore or someplace, and they'll stop and say, "How you doing?" And I said, "Well, you haven't run to the house yet, have you?" No, thank God for that. But we'll be here. You know that if you need us. Oh, don't hesitate to call. And I wouldn't trade none of them. I would not trade any of them for anybody in Bonita, Claremore, anywhere around. So if you ever get sick, call these guys here in town. They'll be there in a heartbeat. And I really do. I love them. They're more like a family to me now than they are just fire chiefs.
You're my leader tomorrow.
And they all call me Granny, by the way.
When it gets to teamwork also, we have gotten a strong bond with our police department. I'm a real good believer in Robert Crum, who was here for about 6 months. I begged him not to leave, by the way. Our new chief, outstanding guy. We've worked a lot of calls with him. He's more than willing to come help at any time. He's got a good support group from the fire department. We support all of our community, like I said. I'm just going to get off subject a little bit. I've been listening to all these division. It's one thing I cannot deal with. There is so much division in the city, and I don't understand why. It's like there's little groups. And if I offend somebody, like, you can talk to me about it later. I don't mind one bit. My thumb's there. But there seems like there's groups of people just either don't want to change, or are scared of a change, or just likes the way it is. Well, I'm personally not for that. I'm for a change. If we can't get together as a group or a community, we're going to fail miserably. And again, I don't want to pat on the back of that. Just being chief, I've dealt with a lot of negativity from some certain individuals, and it's very hard sometimes not to step away. If it wasn't for the people of the community, I'd have done left. And I hate that it's gotten to that, but I'm not going to leave or let somebody win that wants to either demeanor my department or talk bad about me. So with all the city council and the people that's putting into the city council, I want to tell you guys this: don't feed into a group just because your peers or friends are wanting to push you a direction you want to go. You need to go with what you believe in, what you feel is right, and if somebody tells you any difference, I would definitely strongly get away from that. I hope everybody, the best of luck to get into the city council. I look forward to working with you guys. Our department's forward to working with you. Chief, we look forward to working with you as well. I know you've been new chief now for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 1 week. Feels like forever. Sorry. Thank God. My closing part is I know I've talked a little negative, but I'm happy here in Chelsea. I'm glad I've been able to be fire chief here for 2 years. I hope to retire from here on year 24. I hope I can go another 20 years for this great city. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for listening to me.
Thanks, sir. For those that don't know me, my name is Matt Hagebusch. I am the superintendent here for Chelsea Schools. Honored to have that position. Long time resident right here from Chelsea. Born and raised, graduated from here. Families entrenched here, and I love it. I love it here. I love working with our kids. I love working for our community. Because that is what the school is about. It's not my school. It's not our teacher's school. It's our school. It's our community school. In rural America, schools are the cornerstone of every town, and that is definitely what we want as our school. We want to have a facility that is open to the public, that benefits everybody in our community, not just our students, but has things to offer everybody, that improves the quality of life for anyone that might be involved right here with the Chelsea Green Dragons. Before I get too much farther into that, real quick, I would like to say to all the panelists that were up here, great job. I'd like everyone to give them a round of applause one more time. I don't know if everyone fully appreciates how difficult what they just did is to sit there and have to answer those questions and everything, but they represented themselves and our community very well, and it makes you proud to be someone from Chelsea. What they did ask me to come up here and talk a little bit about is our bond election that we've got coming up in April. I had some flyers that I've handed out. I'm going to leave the extras that are here if anybody would like to grab one of those. Give you some details on what we're trying to do here. So kind of the nuts and bolts of it is it's a 5-year bond, and it will give us about $2.2 million. Sure, to me that seems like a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, $2.2 million really doesn't stretch very far anymore when you're talking about trying to build buildings and do different things like that. So we've been very, very careful in what our planning is. This bond is similar to the last one. What we have done, though, is we've kind of changed the focal point. We've changed our priorities a little bit on what we're doing with this bond. We're still going to touch a lot of the same things. But again, like I said, the priorities of how we're going to address those is different. When I say number one priority, really we have 1A and 1B. I think that anybody who has attended any kind of event, whether it be a football game, whether it be the 4th of July event that we had last year, that it was awesome. Look forward to that at the track and the football field again, or a softball game. Usually just wait till you get home to go to the bathroom, because it's rough. Our facilities are dated, to say the least. So that is a big priority for us, is getting some new concession stand and new bathrooms, football field and the track facility, and then also getting a new concession and restrooms at the softball field. To give you a little bit of an idea, there is kind of a rough drawing there of the press box and the football concession there on the flyer. Imagine it green and white instead of red, but if you drive by Claremore's is kind of the model there at their softball field for what the press box, concession, stuff like that would look like. So it's basically a carbon copy of that. The concession and restrooms at the football field would be in the existing location. It's not a renovation. That needs to go away, and we need to start over with there. So that is the plan. With that, the other big piece, and this one is what we are wanting to kind of become the focal point of our campus for right now, and that is what we kind of call the CMAC when we're talking about our planning. That's a Chelsea Multi-Activity Center. And Craig didn't mention this, but currently we land helicopters in the middle of campus. That's really cool to see helicopters land and take off, but it's not great when you got kids on the playground, you got school buses trying to leave and things like that. At one point, that was a great spot for it. When we had a rest home there, we had medical clinic and everything else, but right in the middle of campus, it's less than ideal. I believe Craig's kind of got it lined out that they're going to put a helipad in the industrial park. So that's going to be a great location for that. And we're actually going to steal that real estate, and that's where the CMAC is going to be. So what the goal with that is literally exactly what the title is. Multi-activity center. What do you want to do in that building? Yep, we can do that. It will primarily be used through the day for Art Goad, which is our 1st through 5th graders, to have a place to do PE. Right now, especially during basketball season, they don't have anywhere to go if it happens to be one of the 3 hours that the gym's being used. So if it's an inclement weather day, whether it be wet, whether it be cold, something like that, they have to go to an empty classroom, and that's no place to have PE. That's no place for them to be able to be active and have those opportunities. So it will give them a place where they can do PE. We're looking at having a stage in there. So currently our elementary school doesn't have a stage. We do have one across town at Longfellow, but that building is dated as well. So the opportunities that we used to have at the old McIntosh building with school plays and things like that, right now we just don't have a spot for it. So this gives us a venue where we can start to bring some things back like that. By putting it there where the helipad is, it's right there close to our fine arts, which is in the backside of the superintendent's office. So that's a location right there where our band, where our chorus can have their concerts. Instead of having it in a gym, which obviously is not designed for acoustics and things like that. It's also a place. Right now we don't have a good spot for cheer practice, for things like that. It could be PE through the day. It could be band could go in there and practice, and then after school cheer could be in there, and then the next day it could host a guest speaker. So literally a multi-activity center. Not just for the school, but for our community. Our buildings are available for use for the community all the time. We have people that use them for all kinds of things, so it's another thing there that our community can use. That's what the majority of the use is going to be. Probably the most important thing, though, that it's going to create is there's a law that any building that you build that's over 4,000 square feet, when it comes to a school, you have to have storm shelters for that occupancy. Well, currently Art Goad does not have storm shelters. It was built, before that kicked in, and I mean, most of the schools that we all grew up in, you went to the bathroom, you went out in the hall, you went somewhere like that, and you put your head down and you hope the tornado didn't hit. This building will be, like I said, right there where Art Goad is, and the occupancy of this building will actually have enough storm shelter to accommodate the entire population of Art Goad. So in the event that a storm were to come through, every single student and teacher at Chelsea Public Schools would have a spot to be able to safely shelter at our main campus. Longfellow still is in an older building, so they have some interior rooms that used to be locker rooms for those of us that grew up and played ball over at Longfellow. So they can kind of cram in there. There's not quite as many of them, but that is currently what they do. This is also kind of a step in the process of a long-range plan that we have. We've got to get some things in place to accommodate the kids that we have, and our long-range plan is for us to eventually get Longfellow moved over to Art Goad, get the round buildings torn down, finish that building out the way that it was intended years ago, get all of our students in one spot. So this is kind of a step in getting ourselves prepared for that next big move that we would have, which would be to get, like I said, everybody in one location. The other things that we have on the bond, again, like we said, our focus and our priorities are different a little bit. We want to make sure that the things that we have currently are in good working condition before we start building new. I think anybody that's driven by the ag barn knows that it needs some update. The electricity's not real safe down there. The water is less than stellar, and it's old. You know, some of the tin is in rough shape, things like that. So we're looking at doing a renovation of our current ag barn, potentially getting that closed in, and that will pretty much give us a similar facility of what was on the beginning bond, but for obviously much less. We are also we've partnered locally, so instead of going out and hiring a big high dollar fancy architect firm that immediately whenever they see school bond they just see dollar signs, we've partnered with local people that are able to help us with our cost estimates, with different things like that. So that lets us keep our money local. It also lets us stretch our dollar as far as we can, because when I say our dollar, it's our dollar. Okay, it's your dollar. It's all of us. So we're going to use it, and we're going to do it in a way that benefits the community. But when we pass a bond, it is your money that we're using. Okay, so that is a big responsibility that we have, and I want you to know that our school board and I take that very seriously, and we want to make sure that we get the absolute most that we can get out of every single penny that comes out of that bond issue. Now, question is always what does this do to taxes? Okay, so the way that it works, without getting deep into the weeds, it goes off of mills and different things like that. Mills is 1/10 of a penny. So currently we're sitting at like 15.53 mills is what our bond fund is. That helps us be able to, or that's currently where we're bonded. So that's what we're paying back. Adding this bond does change our millage rate from that 15.5 up to about 17.7. 17 has always been our target line. We've been above it before. Currently, as bonds get paid off, that millage rate kind of drops a little bit, and we've kind of dropped back below it. So this bond gets us kind of back up to that 17. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean in your pocketbook? On a $100,000 property, it means a little less than $3 a month. That's basically what the change in taxes would be, and that'd be year one. And then as that gets paid, that would slowly drop as this 5-year bond goes off. So that is kind of a rundown of what we're trying to do, what we're looking forward to in the future as we work too. So this is not just a ready, fire, aim kind of bond issue. This has some long-term planning to it, and it gets us set up for what we're planning to do in the future as well. So, you guys, do I have time for a couple questions or anything like that? If anybody's got some.
Sure. Is this going to be $3 per 100,000 per month? So you take that $2 million, that's over $60. Yeah.
No, that's not for on the bond. That's just that if you have a $100,000 property, that's just $3 a month. Period.
Okay.
Per person. So like if your home's $200,000, it'd be double that. It'd be a little less than $6 a month total that you'd see change in your tax.
I got to think of both. I
Yeah.
read that $100,000,
Yeah.
$3 per month. $36. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? Good question. Thank you. Any others? All right, guys.
So, Matt, I think the most important thing is vote.
Absolutely. April 4th, guys. April 4th is a big vote. That's why we're here. There's a lot of important decisions to be made on April 4th municipally. We've got a school board election on April 4th. We've got a bond election on April 4th. We've got our town council election on April 4th. Guys, it's important. It's important for you guys. I think for the most part, the reason that we have people here is because you're dedicated. You're interested in what's going on in our community, and you're here because you want to see positive change. You want to see things continue to go in the right direction. So what I ask you guys to do that are here, my challenge, I'm going to do everything I can to get information in front of people. I need you to help me do that. Okay, I need you guys to help me sell this bond too. Okay, make sure you let people know, hey, this is it's safety and security for our elementary kids. It's a building that our entire community can use. It benefits a lot of different aspects across our community and our campus. And like I said, this is an important first step for us in what is a long-range plan that we have for our bond. So appreciate you guys' support. George, you got a question?
You might mention also that this has to carry by 60%.
It does, yeah. This is not just a simple majority. Any bond has to carry by 60%. Okay, so we need supporters to come out, and we need that support for the school. I mean, when we talk about this community trending in the right direction, and Chelsea is absolutely trending in the right direction. I think we can all remember times when houses would be for sale for 4 or 5 years. Now houses are for sale for sometimes 3 or 4 days, a couple weeks max. Okay, people are moving here. Okay, people are coming here, and if we want them to do that, guys, we are competing for people. Okay, we are competing for people to move here to Chelsea instead of to Nowata, or instead of Veneta, or instead of down the road to Sequoia or Adair. We want people right here in Chelsea, Oklahoma. And to do that, we've got to continue to support our school. We've got to make sure that when people pull up on campus, that they see things that are taken care of, that they see that we're doing the right things, that we're supporting our kids, that we're supporting our community. And when people get here, they figure out this is a great place to be. All right, it's a special place to be, and it means something to be a Green Dragon. Okay, and I appreciate you guys' support, and I look forward to working with you guys for a long time. So,
Thank you, Matt.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
So I just want to say thank you for everyone that came out to attend and speak and give us insight as a community. I don't know about anybody else, but I am proud